Before we get in the video, please like, make sure to subscribe, turn on your notifications, go ahead and leave a comment below, and click on the How You Can Help, which brings up the Family Friendly Game website and gives you lots of ideas how you can help us. Thank you. Hey everybody, Paul Berry, Family Friendly Gaming. I'm doing FFG Politics. This is on taxes. You'll probably hear people say, there's only two constants in life, change and taxes. Really? In the Bible, it's kind of interesting. The Israelites had an interesting system. They had prophets, and as the people went and made the sacrifices, they would give so much to the prophets. Okay, the Levites, that entire clan. Excuse me. And I find it interesting that they didn't have any taxes, not until they had a king. Then they had taxes, and it was oppression. One of the things I think a lot of people misunderstand when you talk about you want to lower taxes or you want to shrink government, you want less oppressive government on your life. A lot of people are like, oh, you just hate taxes. Now, I always find it interesting. They always don't go to the extreme, right? They don't want to sit there and like even discuss the topic and go, okay. When I was in Washington State, here's a great example. They told us, they ran an audit, and they found that 50 cents of every dollar taxed made it into the classroom for kids in school. 50 cents. That means 50% of the money being taxed for schools never make it to the schools. Wait, how is that possible? And then I go, and so they would go, okay, we have to have a referendum to raise the taxes. You notice that the government is always raise. Have you ever heard the government say, let's drop it? Well, okay. President Reagan, President Bush, President Trump, they've all done what they could to try to rein in and decrease some of the taxation. Which, if you notice, if you follow economics, you notice that when the taxes get dropped, the economy booms. And as the economy booms, the government gets more money because people can spend more money. Here, interesting concept if you think about that. If the people have more money, they can spend more money. If you take more money from them, they spend less, the government winds up having less. You see how this works? It doesn't make sense. It's like if you hold something, you can't share it. But if you let it go, you get so much more back. It's like that's how it kind of works. It's interesting, economic principle and theory how this all kind of works, and it has worked, and it's been proven over and over and over again. In fact, you can sit there and look at President Trump's presidency and see he dropped taxes, the economy exploded. Now he also did something else that's really important. Is he said, if you're going to ship all these jobs overseas, you're going to have to pay an extra tax. So he taxed companies for taking American jobs, ship them overseas. So if you're going to keep the plant in America or you're going to build a plant in America, you get a tax break. If you sit there and ship it to a foreign country, then every time you bring stuff in, we're going to put a tariff on it. It worked marvelous. He also did the entire trade war with China and won that too. All right, so he got us a better deal with China, and he got reparations for all the things, all the spying that China done to steal technology from us. Again, brilliant. Yet you don't hear the fake news giving a whole lot of credit for all those realities and facts. As we're looking at President-elect Biden, I'm recording this on Christmas break, 2020. He's going to kill the economy. We're in for rough times, tough times. I don't see a lot of investment in America. And if he sits there and starts repealing things, increasing taxes, I love how he goes, I'm going to repeal the tax cut. You know what that really is? It's a tax increase. It's increasing taxes. Like you're not repealing a tax. He's acting like this high taxes is like a requirement and a mandate and what government should be receiving. No, never. That's what baffles me to today. It is the twisted logic used as if it's the government's money in America. No, it's we the people's money. It's our money. And until more Americans sit there and go, hey, that's my money. They're spending my money. They're spending my taxes. They are deciding what to do with my money, and I don't think we should have these bills with a bunch of pork spending. For those who don't know, pork spending is a great example. Would be, let's say we're going to have a bill on highway safety. Okay, so Congress passes a bill on highway safety. Now, a representative in California says, the only way I'll vote for this is if you fund this museum $100 million. So they put in there, in the bill for highway safety, $100 million for this museum. They have nothing to do with each other, right? This is pork spending, where they sit there and say they'll only do it if you fund their pet project, their own little thing that they want. And if you sit there and look at the bills, you find this all the time. Stimulus packages, I mean, all kinds of money went to places that really didn't need stimulus money. And there's been all kinds of stories about all these places that got all this money. They didn't need it. And there's all these people suffering, not getting money. And you're going, I personally believe in very targeted bills. It should only have that in there. And then you can find out where the representatives stand on this. Because what happens is you get a bill with 20 different topics. And you might hear attack ads during campaigning time. And they'll say, they were against whatever. Let's say they were against the Second Amendment. They were trying to violate your Second Amendment. Well, somebody put something in there about guns in a bill for health care. They don't really correlate at all, but they put it together and said, oh yeah, we're gonna throw this in here too. No, there should just be targeted bills on just those topics. And I believe Congress could get through more, and we would know where they officially stand and everything. Because someone sits there and say, I voted for health care, but by doing so I voted against gun rights. Because they're both in there, right? And instead of one bill for health care, one bill for gun rights, you can find out where people stand on those exact topics only. I've also been a big proponent of term limits for being a politician for life. I say somewhere between 20 and 30 years is all they should be allowed to be a politician for their entire life. That goes from being in local county, city, state, and federal. All of it. So there isn't these people who've been in politics for 50 plus years or 60 years. No. Actually go work a job. Now I understand, maybe Netflix will hire you to be on their board and then you can come back to politics later or something. It's like, but still, I'd like to see that happen. So I'm for more personal control, more economic control for we the people. I mean, I feel you can spend your money better than the government can. That's my belief. Now, I'm sure there's all these people, and people might make comments like, well, I see these people buying this bad thing, and that bad thing, and that bad thing, and that bad thing. People make bad choices, yes. People are in the government, they make bad choices as well. So, do you really sit there and say, oh, I trust the government, and don't trust people? Or you go, you know what, they're both down here. And I'd rather give people the opportunity of what to do with their own money. That's me personally. I understand there are certain aspects. The Constitution allows for the military. So the Constitution, the United States American Constitution, pays for the military. And then they kind of have really expanded this general health care and well-being or welfare thing, where I'm not always sure it's being interpreted correctly, personally. But there's not really much we can do about that right now. We can just try to diminish and decrease. And the biggest problem is no one wants their department, their area decreased at all. In fact, you'll sit there and hear people talk about making cuts here or cuts there, and nobody wants anything of theirs cut. It doesn't matter what your program is. If you're a Democrat and you just want to cut the military like crazy, the military doesn't want you to come, right? But they want to spend all this money on entertainment and the arts. You go, well, wait, is that all needed? Really, when there's people suffering and you got to help people with mental illness and whatnot. Republicans are all about, funding the military, having a strong military, and of course giving tax cuts so people can actually decide what to do with their own money and make their own choices. So that's kind of my thoughts on taxes. I'd like to thank everyone for watching. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.